But before that, we will be crowning a very important award. And that award is the Corvus Twig Bird of the Year Award. Now, Bird of the Year goes to not a species of bird, but an individual bird. And today, we are... Hi, Gilbert! Today, we are going to announce the nominees for Bird of the Year. And Farmyard, you get to hang out with me and learn about...
I helped.
We have 4 birds who could possibly win the Bird of the Year. These are birds that have made a mark on the world in 2023. So let me tell you about our nominees for Bird of the Year. Our first nominee is Flacco, the Eurasian eagle owl. Now, Flacco was a resident of the Central Park Zoo in New York City. And one day back in February, some vandals messed with his cage and left it a little bit damaged. Well, Flacco, we don't have it confirmed. Some suspect that Flacco may have, been working with people on the outside. This may have been intentional. Flacco's a real boss bird. He might have organized his whole thing, but that cage was damaged.
A bird mafia.
And Flacco was able to escape from his enclosure, and now he's out. And ever since he escaped, oh yes, the NYPD, the Popo, and the forest rangers and the people from the zoo, they've been trying to recapture Flacco. And they'd be like, let's leave some food in a trap. And Flacco didn't fall for it. Let's try and lure him out. He didn't fall for it. Flacco was on to them. Every single trick that they came up with, Flacco was 2 steps ahead of him. Flacco has remained loose and free since then.
FBI's most wanted.
Yeah. Now, they were worried that maybe Flacco, who was raised in captivity, wouldn't be able to survive out there, but no. This bird was far more street smart than they thought, and Flacco has been thriving, because it turns out that New York City has a crapload of rats and pigeons. And there's few things that make a better meal for a Eurasian eagle owl than rats and pigeons. So Flacco has had plenty of food from the New York City infrastructure. And now, of all the birds in New York City, Flacco is at the top of the food chain. Top bird in New York City. And everybody wants to see Flacco. Flacco's become a bit of a tourist attraction. And there's been a lot of great pictures of Flacco. And though he's not shy from the camera, he's smart enough to evade capture. So, Flacco. I mean, what an amazing bird. Great job, guy. Great job. Our next nominee is Wisdom, the Laysom Albatross. Now, what has Wisdom done that has made her... Not so much what she's done this year, although this year she was officially inducted into the Guinness Book of World Records as the oldest wild bird to have ever lived. Now, Wisdom's probably not the oldest bird to have ever lived, but the oldest on record that we know of. She was banded in 1956, and back then they had a pretty good estimation that she was 5 years old. Well, that makes her 71 years old this year. 71 years old. Wait, this might be a little bit older. Wait, 71. Like 72 years old. I think she's 72 now. The article I read might have been from last year. Anyway, but the thing is, we don't know exactly how old, but we know that she's been banded for at least since 1956 and was not born in 1956 based off of her physiology when they banded her. Now, she has raised over 30 chicks to adulthood in her lifetime. She's been witnessed birthing closer to 50, but unfortunately, it's a rough world out there. It's a rough world. It's tough to have it. So she's experienced quite a bit of loss. She's lost some children. But they have actually traced her lineage, and she's got grandchildren, great-grandchildren, great-great-great-grandchildren. I mean, this lady, she's like the matriarch of all Laysom albatrosses. She's the wise old lady, and she's still going strong. I mean, look at her. Look how smooth and beautiful she is.
It is
God
a
damn, I
beautiful
hope I
dog.
look that good at 71. Holy crap. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
Question.
we got the
How long do
old
these birds
granny.
normally live?
What's that?
How long does the albatross normally live?
Albatrosses are one of the longest living wild birds, but they typically in the wild are going to live like 45 to 55 years on average.
Okay. I was curious how much she was holding up a middle finger to time.
Oh, no, not a whole lot. I mean, albatrosses are one of the longest.
That's quite a lot.
You know, yeah, albatrosses are one of the longest living wild birds. Up there with some large parrot species.
Yeah.
But also albatrosses, once they get full size, they don't have a lot of predators.
Yeah, it's a big bird.
It's a big bird. Big bird. Just don't fly too close to the surface of the ocean where you've seen orcas potting around. Then you're probably
See them
safe.
splashing? Don't go investigate. Just leave it alone.
Yeah. Just leave the orcas alone, and you're probably fine. Yeah. All right. Our next nominee is Murphy the bald eagle. Now, we've talked about Murphy on this channel before. Murphy was a rescue bird, injured in the wild and taken in. And unfortunately, his injuries prevented him from ever being able to be released in the wild again. But Murphy, well, goddammit, he wanted to be a dad. He wanted to be a dad so bad that Murphy built a little nest. Now, he's not a good flyer due to his injury, so he's like, screw it, I'm building it on the ground. He gathered sticks, mud, built a little nest. And then he pushed a pretty circular rock into that nest, and that rock was his baby. And he incubated that rock for several weeks, dutifully tending to it as any eagle parent would do to an egg. But then one day, that rock disappeared. The rock had hatched, and there was a little baby eaglet there in its place. And so what happened is the people who cared for him at this bird rescue place, one day when he was like sleeping, they snuck in there, they took the rock away, and then there was another baby eagle whose mother had died, and they put this bird into the nest, and Murphy's like, I did it! I hatched the rock! And Murphy immediately took to the baby eagle and treated it just as if it was his own child. And he raised it, he fed it. He was an excellent, excellent dad to this little baby eaglet. The eaglet didn't get a name. It was just like Eagle like X3521 or something. Because this one was a healthy baby eaglet. And, back in August, little baby eagle, it was so grown up. They grow up so fast. And the little baby eagle left the nest, which is when, often they do leave the nests of their parents. And, the little baby eaglet is reportedly doing just fine out in the wild. But, Murphy is the rock dad. Incubated a rock and raised a child. And now the child's free out on their own, having a good life. So good job, Murphy. You incubated a rock, and now you're a dad.
10 out of 10, best dad.
Yeah. And lastly, is one that we covered just last week. Our final nominee for Bird of the Year is Nubz the Chicken. Now, Nubz, as we talked about last week, and you see on the right, had a horrible condition where terrible mites basically got into the feet, got him infected, and had to amputate him. And poor Nubz didn't have the proper feet and was not able to walk because, well, their feet were simply nubs. But they didn't give up on Nubz. They brought Nubz in. And they cared for Nubz. And like, well, Nubz, we want to give you a good way of life. You just need to be able to grip the ground. So what you need is shoes. And so Nubz's owner made Nubz some shoes. And they shared those pictures of Nubz in their shoes. And soon the internet all started loving Nubz. And now Nubz, through donations and more things like that, Nubz now has over 60 pair of shoes. And Nubz is walking, living their best life, and is a fashion model for some stylish chicken shoes. But one of the coolest things about Nubz is when Nubz was brought home, they were female presenting. They had female sex characteristics. But in their new home, Nubz started to grow some secondary sex characteristics that are exclusive to males. The crest shape, the some spurs that they grew, the orientation of their tail feathers. Nubz successfully transitioned female to male. So though Nubz assigned, female at birth, Nubz is a boy, and we got a trans shoe model chicken, and that's
We love a good trans icon.
yeah, absolute icon. We love Nubz the Chicken. So those are our nominees for Bird of the Year. Now, how are we going to determine who the Bird of the Year is? Well, folks, it's going to be done by a vote. And what I need you to do, I want to keep it a secret ballot. So if I do any Twitter polls or polls on my thing, people are going to see the results. But anybody and everybody is allowed to vote. And how do you vote? They just shoot me a message. Just shoot me a message saying who you vote for, and I'll keep a tally. That's all I got to do. Shoot me, whether it's on Discord, Twitter, I don't think Blue Sky allows for direct messages. You can send me a message on Twitch. You can send me an email at corvustwig@gmail.com. There are so many ways. So send in your vote for Bird of the Year, and I will announce the winner on December 31st. The deadline is going to be December 30th. So get your votes in, and let me know who you think Bird of the Year is. I've made my vote, but my vote is just one vote. So let me know who you think.